Welcome to the Fabric Shade Evaluation Training. This video provides technical training for fabric colorists and quality control technicians on key color aspects: hue, chroma, value, and metamerism. Section 1 covers hue or tone variations. We will evaluate directional hue shifts relative to an approved standard, including reddish, yellowish, bluish, and greenish shifts. Here are examples of reddish hue variations. We examine different offshades, such as the batch pulling to red-orange or having a light or deep value, along with the necessary corrections for each. These examples show yellowish shifts. Offshades include those that are too yellowish, have a pale depth, or a heavy depth. We also see a borderline yellowish shift that is still within acceptable limits, and the recommended corrections. Next, we review bluish hue variations. These examples cover shifts toward violet blue, light depth, and dark depth, as well as a slight bluish cast that is borderline, and the corresponding correction actions. These examples illustrate greenish shifts, from a batch drifting to teal green to deep shade variations. Pay attention to the borderline greenish shift, which is a near pass, and the need to assess it under all three illuminants. We also cover specific hue shifts, like reddish-brown and olive tones. The examples include corrections for brown batches that are too reddish or thrown to olive, khaki thrown to green-yellow, and rust terracotta that is too orange.
Next are cool tone shifts, specifically violet and purple. These examples detail corrections for purple batches that are too red-violet or too blue-violet, lavender thrown bluish, and violet that is too dark or shifted in hue. We move on to neutral and gray hue shifts. Learn to correct gray that is too warm, too cool, thrown green, or has a pinkish/red undertone by adjusting dye combinations and checking for contamination. Finally, for hue variations, we examine white, off-white, and cream shades. Corrections are provided for shifts that are too yellowish, too bluish or over-brightened, thrown pink, or appear too gray/dirty. Section 2 focuses on chroma or saturation variations. This involves evaluating deviations in dullness, brightness, and vividness, and identifying undersaturated and oversaturated batches relative to the standard. These examples show dull or undersaturated batches. We cover batches that are too dull, dull blue or green, and dull navy. The corrections often involve increasing dye concentration or verifying process parameters. Next, we review overbright or oversaturated batches. Corrections are shown for oversaturated red, yellow, blue, and green fabrics. Reducing dye concentration and checking for chemical interference are common corrections. These examples cover slight dullness or borderline chroma variations in coral/peach, teal/turquoise, orange, and purple/violet shades. The goal is to make slight corrections to meet CMC tolerance or identify inconsistencies. The final chroma section covers saturation inconsistency across different depths. Examples include batches with insufficient chroma at pale depth and inconsistent lot-to-lot chroma at mid-depth, with appropriate correction actions. We now examine chroma variations in fluorescent and high chroma shades. These examples show corrections for off shades like high-vis yellow, safety orange, neon pink that are too muted, and high chroma red that fades in a light fastness test. Next, we look at grayed or contaminated saturation. Examples include batches with gray contamination, muddy brown/olive green contamination, a chalky surface, or an overall dusty, low-depth appearance. Corrective actions often involve checking for carryover or impurities. Section 3 addresses value or lightness variations, evaluating L-time axis deviations. This involves identifying batches lighter or darker than the approved standard across pale, mid, and deep depth ranges. These examples show batches that are too light. We cover pale pink, mid-blue, khaki/olive, and black shades that are lighter than the standard. Corrections focus on increasing dye concentration and verifying proper exhaustion and fixation. Here are examples of batches that are too dark. This includes navy, coral, gray, and dusty rose shades that are over-depth or too heavy. Corrections involve reducing dye combinations and auditing recipes to ensure accuracy. Section 4 focuses on metamerism and light fastness. Metamerism is the phenomenon where two colors match under one light source, but not another. We will examine identifying and correcting batches with poor metamerism. These examples show batches with poor metamerism. This includes off shades in white, bright blue, deep gray, and deep red that shift drastically under different lights. Adjusting component dyes and checking recipes are key corrections. Here we see examples of borderline metamerism, or light shift variations. These small shifts in violet, bright yellow, and navy must be assessed under all light sources to ensure they meet the CMC tolerance. Finally, we look at examples of metamerism in complex shades and graying. This covers corrections for browns, olives, and pale grays, with metameric shifts, often requiring careful balancing of component dyes. The last examples deal with light fastness and washing fastness. We review corrections for batches that fail light fastness due to poor dye selection, and those that fail wash fastness due to incorrect fixation or rinsing. Thank you for completing this technical training video on fabric shade evaluation and colorist standards.